Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 155 pounds, we are winner 2-0, representing Team Rocatona from Rome in Italy, Silviano Valenti! Ladies and gentlemen, and his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 155 pounds on his debut, representing Team Elite from Southend-on-Sea, Reese Nunn!
So our first international match of the evening, Silviano Valenti, 2-2 from Team Rocatona, Italy, against the debutant Reese Nunn from Team Elite Southend-on-Sea. And Pierre, again, we've talked about this in previous shows. 2-2, it's a 50-50 record, but a 4-fight experience compared to a debutant. Team Elite in Southend must be quite confident of their man then.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you have to understand with each time you get into the cage, you build that experience, and nothing takes the place of experience, Bout.
So Reese Nunn making his debut against Silviano Valenti. As I said, 2 wins and 2 losses, but he has that 4-fight experience. And as you can see, Nunn immediately the taller, rangier man, and without being unkind to Valenti, is carrying a bit round the midriff, Pierre.
Yeah, he is, and so far he's had no, well, there goes a right hook. However, that was all arm. He's going to have to get his body into it.
Now this is semi-pro, so they will be allowed to strike to the head whilst upright. And let's see if Nunn can capitalize on that. He's the taller man, the rangier man, and Superman punch attempt just misses though.
Now the thing that I like about Nunn is probing with that jab. Good right round kick to the upper thigh of Valenti. Valenti tries to exchange with punches but falls way short. Jab hook combination there by Nunn.
It was the right shot choice from Valenti, but Nunn was very well aware of it. So nice and sharp here in the opening round.
Now the thing that I'm noticing about Valenti, he's throwing short shots. He's going to have to lengthen it out, try to get the range on that if he's going to make contact on Nunn.
Yes, he's not going to contact from that range. You're right, Pierre. He needs to get in. And again, this time he didn't even try when Nunn used the right roundhouse to the back of his thigh.
Now, what we have to do better overall in mixed martial arts, we got to start checking leg kicks. Because I tell you what, the couple that do land on that large muscle, it only takes a couple kicks before your mobility has been hampered. Oh, big shots by both fighters. Rock'em sock'em robots there by Nunn and Valenti, both finding a little bit of leather.
Yeah, the problem for Valenti, though, is Nunn's doing it better, and you must wonder when he will switch tactics, because upright, he's fighting at Nunn's range. He's allowing the man to use his length and reach to his advantage. Now, you either step in and get closer, or you take him down, because he's just eaten another 2 left hooks. And the right side of his face is already reddening from that. And then the low kick. He cannot just stand there in front of his man at this range, Pierre.
What I would like to see is let's check with the shin. If you can't do that, you have to come back with some punches just to keep your opponent honest, because right now Nunn is getting something with no retaliation. So basically he's getting something for nothing.
Indeed, Pierre, and this is where Valenti has to change tactic, because this is the wrong range for him.
And Valenti is very tentative. He's hesitating on all of his shots. He needs to just explode and hopefully catch Nunn with something, or at least break down the distance, and let's see how we can fare on the ground.
Yes, we've seen it many times when both fighters are happy at a range, and yet one of them doesn't understand at that range he's losing. And so it is with Valenti. He's happy at this range at the moment, realizing it's totally wrong for him, and he's being outpointed quite easily. You fall into that trap.
And also, Valenti's a very easy target in that he's a plotter. He's not really got any foot. Big shots there, and he is dropped there by Nunn. I can't tell if that was a left or right hook, Malcolm, but whatever it was, it landed on the button.
It was left and right hooks together, Pierre. A huge flurry of them. And again, as we said, the reason Valenti got caught like that was he was at the wrong range. He was throwing off balance. He was leaning forward. His chin was up. Nothing was balanced about him. And you can see it's cut the right eye. He paid the price. And again, what an assured debut for Nunn. It was full to his range, agreed. But at that range, he was devastating.
I have to agree with everything you said. I tell you what, Nunn looked very impressive. Valenti, back to the drawing board.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner in 4 minutes and 9 of the first round by knockout. Make some noise for Reese Nunn! And please show your appreciation for your runner-up, Silvio Valenti! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is a middleweight professional competition. Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 185 pounds, with a record of 0-3-0, representing Team CSA from Maidstone in Kent. High Palmer! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 185 pounds, with a fight record of 2-3-0, and representing Team South Liverpool in Newcastle, Scott
So once again, professional mixed martial arts. Ty Palmer, 3 losses on his record from CSA Team Maidstone against Scott Rogan, 2 wins and 3 losses on his record from Team Saw Thaniful Newcastle. So 2 men that want to get back, Pierre, onto a winning streak here. And we must say about Scott, his record really doesn't reflect his ability, does it? We've seen him in 2 cracking fights that he lost.
His last fight, very strong, very good showing. Next thing you know, he injures his shin, check it and kick. The fight before that against Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali, here at UWC, he was controlling the fight. He was taking it to him. However, in a reversal out of nowhere, gets, I believe it was
by Ali.
Yeah, it was just amazing. But I tell you what, Rogan can bang.
Now, one thing we can see here, the different body shapes. The tall, rangy fighter against the stockier, more powerful looking fighter. But that right hand from Palmer says, don't take me lightly.
Now, Ty Palmer is actually studying or training under Lee Johnston, who is Sambo. Oh, nice lead uppercut. Hits Ty Palmer on the button.
Well, one thing that's always impressed us about Rogan is his hand speed and his boxing ability.
Now, he did a step-in jab there, and I tell you what, when he lands, man, you could tell that he throws his entire body weight into it. Like you said, very good boxing. However, this is a mixed martial arts bout, so it's going to be very interesting to see, because we know in the past he's had problems with the groundwork.
That's right, and he is getting tagged with the right hand from Palmer as well, who looks very calm under pressure from Rogan.
Now, like I said, Palmer's under Lee Johnson, who's been around the business a long, long time. Sambo practitioner as well as a black belt in BJJ. And he actually had his own fight promotion also. Big overhand right, blocked. Nice jump knee there by Ty Palmer.
Looks to tie up finally, Palmer.
Looking for the leg reap, gets Scott Rogan down. Now looking potentially to posture up to throw some leather of his own. Rogan pushing on the face of Palmer.
And this is where, if anything, you question Rogan. We've got no doubts about his stand-up ability. Very entertaining fighter upright. But it's when you worry is when he does get taken to the ground, isn't it?
Yeah. Now he's trying to go for that headlock. However, as you see, Palmer is throwing big, heavy shots. I tell you what, that young man impressed me with those shots. There was a lot of power behind that. He's keeping 0 spacing between him and Rogan, looking to pass the arm over possibly for a head and arm triangle. Softening him up again. Scott needs to get back to his feet because that's where he's effective. Cage push there by Rogan.
That said, Pierre, Palmer impressed me upright as well. Stayed very calm under great pressure from Rogan. Some good chopping leg kicks and sharp hands of his own. And again, we talk about records maybe not reflecting ability. Palmer might be one of those. You look at it and it says 3 losses. Very competent man here. Very cool under pressure from a man that we note for his boxing.
Talking about the man that we note for the boxing, the man needs to get back up to his feet. He's in a bad position here. Oh, Palmer looking to advance it to that full mount, and he has it there. However, Scott Rogan pushing off. He needs to get, again, we talked about the flat back earlier. He has to pivot. He has to push down, try for a bucket roll. He has to try something, or the referee will call it here.
Yes, his defense has to be more than that. It has to be far more than this. And there's the neck. He's going now for the, oh, and there's the tap.
That has been his Achilles heel each and every time that we've seen him. He'll start very strong, very well on the stand-up, gets taken to the mat, and unfortunately, Scott Rogan, you know, he's a easy person to fight when you know where his weak point is.
Yeah, with that in mind, which brings Ty Palmer, who I thought was very competent, his first win. For me, Scott Rogan looks far more suited to straight K1.
And sometimes you have to know that about yourself, and you have to choose your sport wisely, because it's a shame, because I think that he does have what it takes to be successful at a combative sport. However, it may be K1.
Well, Ty Palmer is off the mark, and he absorbed the punishment from Rogan early.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by rear naked choke at 3:21 of the first round. Ty Palmer! a gallant runner-up, Scott Rogan.
International professional MMA, Michel Mirabella, MMA fight team in Rome. 2 wins, 2 losses against Chris Stebbards. 3 wins and 1 loss from TSG Fight School here in Southend-on-Sea. And I must say, Michel looked quite nervous there while he was waiting for Stebbards to come in.
I can never tell if it's nervousness or determination, and there's a fine line between the two. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm not very familiar with Michel Mirabella. However, we know he has 3 fights with 1 win, 2 losses. Now, Stebbards has fought before here in the UWC, however, 2 years ago. That is, and he is, Stebbards looking good on the punches, drops Mirabella with a short inside shot.
Now that, ironically, was after he was slightly wobbled himself from a shot by Mirabella. They both threw the leather. Stebbards slightly wobbled, but then came back with the heavier artillery as they lock up against the fence now. Explosive start.
Now you can tell that Mirabella is putting a lot of effort. He wants this on the ground as soon as possible. Talking to Stebbards prior to the fight, he said, I want to keep it on the feet. So each person has come in here with a definite game plan. Now let's see who was able to enforce and make their will happen here in the first round.
And so with Stebbards, despite the amount of training you do, he's still got to get a bit of rust out of this system, hasn't he, with that layoff?
Yeah, and how I would do it if I was to come back and fight, I would like a couple, warm-up fights before I jump into the deep waters. Now, as I was talking, I don't see what happened. It may have been a low blow.
Yes. Mirabella, as you can see, a low blow there from Stebbards. He shrugs. I don't think it was intentional. And he's smiling as if almost to say, I think he's making this up. But if he's not, it is painful.
Now, just to let you know, at home, you do get 5 minutes to recover after a low blow. I'm sure it wasn't intentional by Stebbards. And hopefully what has started off as a barn burner of a fight will continue, because I'd like to see how this plays out.
Yes, Mirabella being given time. And they're ready to go again. And Stebbards keen to get that rust out of his system. Mirabella shaking off the injury. Good low leg kick that Stebbards almost checked.
Both guys are very twitchy, good up and down motion, making themselves unpredictable. Short shot again, just missing by Stebbards. However, I feel right now that Mirabella is landing the more meaningful shots of the two.
Yes, he's moving nicely as well, and he's slipping, and he's using the lead leg to kick. Then the rear leg now, which you can skip away from more. The lead leg, it's closer, it's chopping. Oh, fake there, and comes across with the right hand, left leg. Mirabella recovered well, Pierre.
Nice. Again, Stebbards catching him as he's trying to come in to break the distance down. Stebbards catching with that short hook again. Now, what I would say for Mirabella needs to set that up. Come in off some punches. Don't come in with your head low without throwing some shots, or else you're going to get touched.
Well, so far proving to be a tough comeback for Stebbards after that layoff. He's coping with it well, but Mirabella asking some questions, as did that knee almost of Stebbards' chin. He's got to be careful there, and the takedown. Good recovery from Mirabella.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as we spoke before, he has 2 losses, 1 win, and I'll tell you what, sometimes records are for DJs because it's definitely not reflecting the story that's happening here in the cage. Mirabella looking like a contender.
Yes, and looking to lay the leather down now. He's postured up. Did you notice there as well, Pierre? A short little tricky elbow to the midsection before he threw the punch. He's thinking all the time, and the Italian has impressed me so far.
Now look at this here. He's trying to feed the arm up and underneath his own body, up and underneath Stebbards' own body. Has the arm trapped, not able to defend to that side. Beautiful way to set up for some serious ground and pound.
Forearms again into the face of Stebbards, using every little tool and trick here at the moment, Mirabella.
And Mirabella looked very calm, very loose on the stand-up. And I thought actually that Stebbards was going to be the more calm of the two and the less tense. However, this is his comeback fight. Maybe he's trying to shake the rust out here in the first and hopefully coming back in the second a little bit more loose, a little bit more composed, and able to get the job done.
Well, I think for his corner, that will just be the main concern. When you're coming back after a layoff like that, get him back to the corner, get that round out of his system, get that rust out of his system, and then plan again for the next 2 rounds. But the key here is getting there, because Mirabella's in a good position here, Pierre.
Now what it looks like is Stebbins looks like he's trying to grab him, hold him, no action, get a referee stand up. However, Mirabella very nicely throwing little short shots, able to posture back up and keep the action going. He wants this fight on the mat, and as long as he's staying active, it's going to stay there.
That's right, and again, that little drop to elbow from Mirabella, softening up to the midsection as well. So after a good start by Stebbins, I felt from actually the strike to the groin that Mirabella complained of, he's dominated the round since then.
Maybe that was a wake-up call, you know, hey, I'm here in a fight, I need to get started. And started he has. Very good posture, standing up, looking to throw some shots. Stebbins opening his guard, trying to up kick, trying to get back to his feet. He gets back to his feet, but Mirabella with some nice little uppercuts on the dirty boxing. However, now we're back where Stebbins wants to be, and that's on the stand-up.
Yes, good from Mirabella. High kick from Stebbard doesn't quite land, but after a good start from Stebbard, he'll be pleased, I think, to get his corner in and talking to him. But I feel that, as we said, from that turning point where he was given the time to recover, Mirabella did, Pierre, come out a different fighter.
Yep. He corrected himself on the takedowns. Now, he was getting caught on those as he was coming forward with those short little shots. If you don't want to get caught with those short little shots, they come in off of your own punches or change your level. Take your head out of the equation, get it below the punching range, and come in for, like, say, a double leg. However, yes, I agree 100%. He was a changed man after that low blow, and looking very confident for somebody who's got 2 losses and 1 win on his record.
So on our scorecard, we have Mirabella 1 round up after an initial good start from Stebbard. Let's see how he progresses in this second round now.
Now, Stebbins, like you mentioned before, straight lines are the enemy, meaning that if he walks back in a straight line, he's going to find his back up against the cage, and it's going to result in a takedown. He needs to work circles. He needs to cut the angles.
Well, because as we saw there, Mirabella is growing in confidence and dangerous. Goes for the single leg because of that right hand he took.
Now, a little bit of a mistake there by Stebbins. Stebbins should have sprawled all the way out, but because he left a bend in that leg, Mirabella was able to complete that takedown, and now he's paying for it with Stebbins back to the cage, into the mat, and heavy elbows here.
Oh, those elbows raining down, and they're accurate as well, Pierre, and Stebbins in all sort of problems now.
Now, Stebbins has been stopped once before from a cut to the elbow, and you look, there's a little bit of bleeding.
Now. He is cut now, Pierre. Relentless now, Mirabella, and those elbows come down again. Stebbard's in all sorts of problems here. Mirabella has grown in confidence as this fight has gone on.
Now he's
Stebbard's
given
his back.
However, he turns back. Only thing is, he has got to get him out of that mount position. He's got to shrimp, push the knee out, and it's been called. Stebbins will not be happy with that.
Mirabella, he got high in that mount, didn't he? Got up there and then was relentless and, more importantly, accurate. And we can see the damage to the face of Stebbins now, showing the accuracy of Mirabella.
Now, what I would tell you, those elbows were just coming down fast and heavy. And like you said, once he positioned the knees up against, it's very hard. But Stebbins stayed flat back. When you stay flat back, you're not able to create any distance. And when you create distance, that's when you can get your leg out for possible half guard, moving back into the full guard. However, we knew that Stebbins wanted to stay up. Mirabella wanted to stay down. Mirabella ends it on the floor with heavy, vicious elbows.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by way of ground and pound. 1 minute 26 of the second round.